It's a lot of vocabulary. If you don't understand the words, then it makes it more difficult. So the first words you're going to hear are rate of change, which is this right here. Rate of change. This is just how much each thing is changing, but each thing is kind of related to the other. So if one changes, the other one also needs to change. How much stuff changes? I'm just going to call it stuff. It's X and Y. Cost, the amount of things you buy, apples and money. So speaking of apples and money, let's see, if I buy one apple, because I don't know, it's $2. It's a Honeycrisp apple. That's cheap Honeycrisp apple. So one apple is $2. So 2 apples would be $4. And 3 apples? 6. And 4 apples? 8. Okay. Exactly. There's a pattern. There's a rate of change. The apples goes up 1, so the money goes up 2. Apples goes up 1, money's going to go up 2. And we could keep going because it's predictable. There's a pattern. Right. Exactly. That means being able to do what he just did, that means that it is a proportional relationship. What he just said, which was that it's times 2, means that it's a proportional relationship. Sorry. Proportional relationship. Y divided by X is all the same. So Adele, how'd you know it was times 2? Okay, so each apple is $2 because 2 divided by 1 is 2, 4 divided by 2 is 2, 6 divided by 3 is 2, 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay, this is times 2. That means it's a proportional relationship. Now, when something is proportional, you have what's called the constant. That thing? Yep. Constant of proportionality, which is we've called it unit rate. We just called it the rate of change. Y divided by X is the constant of proportionality. So if this is X and this is Y, 2 divided by 1 is 2 divided 2. So we find constant of proportionality by doing Y divided by X, and it doesn't change. It's just a formula. It's kind of like finding out how much is one apple. This is kind of the unit rate. Yeah, we used to call it unit rate, like miles per hour, cost per apple. Now we call it constant of proportion. It's all the same. It's just figuring out how much each thing is.
Pound per square feet.
And then, yes. We've done these before by solving proportions. A proportion is 2 equal ratios. 2 equal ratios. So if I'm comparing apples to cost, I can get 1 apple for $2. And that would be equal to how many apples for $10?
5.
Good. And those are equal. I can get 5 apples for $10. because 5 over 10 is equal to 1 over 2. At the heart of a proportion, it's just 2 equal ratios or 2 equal fractions. That's all that is. All right. For the math part. Your goal today, you have to figure out, is it a proportion? And if it is, you have to answer some questions. So the first thing you have to do is decide, is it a proportion, which means there's a constant rate of change. So step 1, is there a constant rate of change? Is there a constant rate of change? And remember, the constant rate of change comes from that y over x piece. Is every y over x the same?
No.
It should be. Yes means it's proportional. No means it's not. Next thing I want you to look at. Part of being proportional means that at some point it would be 0, 0. Could 0, 0 fit in the pattern? So 0 apples costs how much dollars? $0. No. If like my cell phone bill, let's say it's $20 a month, and then I pay, that gives me like 100 minutes of talk time, but every minute after 100 is 5 cents. So when I started, it's 20, and then it's going to go up 5 cents every minute after that. But if it was just like, if I have like a pay per go, like I pay 5 cents every minute, and I'm only going to pay for what I use, then it starts at, if I talk for 0 minutes, it's $0, and then 5 cents every minute. So it all has to do with like fees. Like a one-time charge is going to make it not proportional. If there's like an initial rate or an initiation fee. So like when you join the gym, you have to pay money to join the gym, and then you pay every month.
It's like when you join Charter.
Yeah, when you like anytime you sign up for something like internet. When we like opened our water bill like account in Fort Worth, there was a charge to start the account, and then we paid for every gallon of water.
So it just continues?
Yeah.
But
How much is a gallon of water?
in that
Depends
like,
on where you live.
But in like that scenario, it's still 0, 0 would stay as a problem.
Yes. You'll see some scenarios where 0, 0 doesn't work. And then step 3, you're going to have to write an equation. If it's proportional, then the equation should be y equals something x. This needs to either be multiplied or divided if it's proportional. So like this one, for my apples, y is cost. So how did we figure out the cost? We did apples times what? Oh, sorry.
Apple times dollars? No.
This, let me back up.
That's why.
This is my COP. This is my constant of proportionality, which was y over x. How much was one apple?
$2.
$2. So it's y equals 2x, where x is number of apples and y is the total cost. Okay?